Chosen one, stop scrolling right now and do not swipe this away, because this did not reach you by accident. Heaven interrupted your feed on purpose at the exact hour you needed a witness. God is placing a warning in your hands tonight, and it is about a man. Before you brace yourself, hear the tone of it. This is not condemnation, and it is not God shaming you for who you have loved. It is a father who would rather warn you early than watch you wounded later. Because the peace you have been forcing yourself to feel around this person, the calm you keep manufacturing every time your chest tightens, is the very thing he is asking you to question tonight. Every time you walk away from him, you feel lighter. Every time you go back, you feel smaller. You have been calling that a mood. You have been calling it stress or your own trust issues. Tonight, heaven is calling it what it truly is, a warning. And the moment I said that word, a face already appeared in your mind. You did not have to search for it. It arrived before I finished the sentence. That is not my doing. That is the Spirit confirming to you that you already know exactly who this message is about. I want you to notice something about how you found these words. You were scrolling through 100 other things. You could have kept moving, but you stopped here. Something in you slowed down and leaned in, the way a person leans in when they hear their own name spoken across a crowded room. That leaning is not curiosity. That is recognition. Stay in that place with me, because in the next few minutes, I am going to show you how to tell the difference between the voice of God and the voice of your own loneliness. And by the time we are done, you will not be confused about this man anymore. If these first words are landing somewhere real in you, then here is what I want you to do before we go one step further. In the comments below, simply write, "I hear the warning," not for me, for you. Because the moment you put language to what your spirit already senses, it stops being a vague unease you can talk yourself out of, and it becomes a truth you have witnessed with your own hand. Write it, and let us continue. Let me tell you what a divine warning actually is, because most people misunderstand it completely, and that misunderstanding is exactly why they ignore it until it is too late. When you hear the word warning, your body flinches. You brace for punishment. You assume God is angry, that you have done something wrong, that a hammer is about to fall. So you do the very thing that keeps you in danger. You look away. You change the subject. You tell yourself you are being paranoid, and you walk back toward the very thing you were being warned about. But a warning is not the opposite of love. A warning is one of the purest forms of it. Think about it plainly. You do not warn a stranger. You warn a child you cannot bear to see hurt. When a mother throws her arm across her child in a car that stops too fast, that arm is not punishment. That arm is the reflex of love moving faster than thought. That is what is happening to you right now. God is not throwing you away. He is throwing his arm across your chest because he sees a stop coming that you have not seen yet, and he loves you far too much to stay silent and let you drive into it. So, I need you to release the fear that made you brace. This message is not here to condemn you for loving this man. You loved with a real heart. That is not your sin. That was your beauty being poured into the wrong container. The problem was never that you loved. The problem is who you handed that love to, and whether he was ever assigned to carry it. Here is the first thing the Father wants you to understand, and I want you to sit up for this one, because it reframes everything. What you have been experiencing as a relationship, heaven has been watching as an interception. There is a word for what is happening in your life, and once you have it, you will see this whole situation with new eyes. I want you to call it the divine interception. Hold that phrase, because we are going to return to it more than once tonight. An interception is not a random event. In the moment before a gift is delivered, something steps into the path and takes it. That is what a counterfeit connection does in the life of a chosen woman. You were on your way to something, a calling, a purpose, a love that was actually built to hold you. And right there in the path, at the threshold, something stepped in and took the space that was reserved for what God was sending. It did not announce itself as an enemy. It rarely does. It came wearing a familiar face, saying familiar things, and it settled into the exact place your future was supposed to occupy. That is why this hurts in a way you cannot fully explain. It is not only that a man disappointed you, it is that your spirit has been quietly grieving a theft it could not name. Tonight, we are naming it. And naming a thing is the first step to taking back what it stole. Now, let me show you how to recognize the interception, because the enemy is not creative, he is consistent. There are signs that follow a counterfeit connection the way a shadow follows a body, and once you see them laid out plainly, you will not be able to unsee them. The first sign is the fog. When you are near this man, or even when you are only thinking about him, your mind goes cloudy. Decisions you used to make with ease become impossible. You reread his messages, searching for a meaning that is not there. You lose hours to imagining conversations you will never have. A God-sent connection brings clarity. A counterfeit brings fog. And you have been living inside that fog so long you started to believe it was just who you are now. The second sign is the shrinking. Count the things you have quietly let go of since he became central. A dream you stopped mentioning because he made a face. A friend who saw him clearly and slowly got pushed to the edges of your life. A version of your laugh that used to be louder. Notice that you did not grow beside this man. You contracted. Real love expands you into more of who you are. This made you into less and called it peace. The third sign is the returning tightness in your body. Your spirit has been speaking to you through your chest, your stomach, the tension you carry in your shoulders after every conversation with him. You have been medicating that signal with excuses. But the body does not lie the way the mind does. The body keeps the honest record, and your honest record has been sounding an alarm for longer than you have wanted to admit. Sit with those three for a moment. The fog, the shrinking, the tightness. If even one of them just described your life with painful accuracy, you are not being paranoid, and you are not making it up. You are finally reading the letter heaven has been sending you all along. Now we go deeper, because signs alone are not enough. You can recognize a pattern and still walk straight back into it if you do not understand the mechanism underneath it. So let me answer the question that has been quietly tormenting you. Why him? Of all the people in the world, why did your heart lock onto this particular man, the one heaven is now warning you about? You have blamed yourself for it. You have wondered if something is broken in you. Nothing is broken in you, but there is a mechanism, and you deserve to finally see it. Here is the truth that will set you free if you let it land. You did not attract this man at the level of your worth. You attracted him at the level of your wound. Read that again in your spirit. The parts of you that are healed call in what is healthy. But the parts of you that are still bleeding, the places where love failed you early, the spaces a father or a first heartbreak left hollow, those parts do not call in what is good for you. They call in what is familiar. And to a heart that learned love as anxiety, a calm and steady love feels boring, while a chaotic and inconsistent love feels like home. That is the entire trap in one sentence. The counterfeit does not feel wrong to you. It feels familiar. And you have been mistaking familiarity for destiny this whole time. Your nervous system lit up around this man not because he was your assignment, but because he matched the shape of an old wound so precisely that being with him felt like recognition. It was recognition, but you were not recognizing your future. You were recognizing your unhealed past, wearing a new name. This is why willpower has not worked. This is why every friend who told you to just leave him did not understand why you could not. You were not weak. You were bonded at the level of the wound, and a wound does not respond to logic. It responds to healing. So the warning God is giving you tonight is not only get away from him, it is deeper than that. It is let me heal the place in you that keeps answering when he calls. Now let me give you the thing you have been asking God for without words. You have prayed, in your own way, to know the difference between his voice and your own loneliness. Because here is your real fear, and I am going to say it out loud so it loses its power. Your fear is that this warning is not God at all, that it is just your anxiety, that you are sabotaging something good because you are afraid of being loved. So you dismiss the warning and stay, telling yourself you are being brave. Let me teach you how to tell the two apart, so you never have to be confused about this again. The voice of loneliness is loud, and it is fast, and it is afraid. It speaks in a rush. It says, do not be alone, do not lose him, no one else will come. Take what you can get, hold on tighter. Loneliness always argues for the short term. It always speaks from scarcity. It always makes the fear of empty hands louder than the truth of your heart. When you feel pressured, panicked, and rush toward a decision, that is not God. God is never in a hurry, because God is never in lack. The voice of God is different in texture entirely. It is quiet, and it is steady, and it does not need to shout, because it is not afraid of losing you. It does not argue. It simply knows. The warning of God comes with a strange and settled peace underneath it, even when the message itself is hard. You can feel afraid of the change and still feel a deep, grounding calm about the truth of it at the same time. That combination, a hard message wrapped in a strange peace, is the fingerprint of the Spirit. Loneliness screams to keep you where you are. God whispers to move you toward where you belong. So, here is how you test the warning you have been feeling. Ask yourself one question honestly. When I imagine walking away from this man, is the dominant feeling panic, or is it relief with a little fear on top? If underneath the fear of the unknown there is a quiet exhale, a sense of your own shoulders dropping, a whisper that says, finally, then chosen one, that is not you sabotaging love. That is your spirit agreeing with heaven. The relief is the confirmation. The relief is God saying, yes, you heard me correctly. I want to give you language for this, because your spirit has been carrying it wordless for too long. What you have been feeling is not fear of intimacy. It is the ache of a signal being jammed. Imagine for a moment that your life has a frequency, a station God assigned specifically to you, playing the exact guidance and peace and direction you need. And imagine that being near the wrong person has been dragging static across that station for months, maybe years. You have still been able to faintly hear God, but you have had to strain. You have had to turn the volume of your own soul all the way up just to catch a few clear words. That exhaustion you feel is not weakness. It is the fatigue of a woman who has been listening for heaven through interference. If that image just described the tiredness you carry, then let me ask something of you here, because this is a threshold moment, and heaven marks thresholds. In the comments, write the words, clear the static. Say it as a prayer, not a performance. Because when you name the interference out loud, you begin the very act of removing it. Write it, clear the static, and then stay with me. Because I am about to show you what your life sounds like when the signal finally comes through clean. Do you feel the shift that just happened? A moment ago, you were a woman confused about a man. Now, you are a woman who understands a mechanism. That is not a small thing. That is the ground moving under your feet. because a confused woman keeps going back. But a woman who understands why she was bonded and how to tell the voice of God from her own fear is a woman who cannot be deceived the same way twice. The interception is losing its grip on you already, and we are only getting started. Now, I need to speak to the grief, because even as your spirit agrees with this warning, your heart is already mourning, and I will not rush you past that. There is a real loss here. You are not only losing a man, you are losing the future you had built in your imagination around him, the holidays you pictured, the version of the story where he finally changed and became the one. That imagined future has to die, and it deserves to be grieved honestly. But hear me, you are not grieving something that was real. You are grieving something you hoped would become real. And heaven will not let you trade your actual destiny for a hope that kept requiring you to shrink. So let me reframe the loss for you, because you have been holding it by the wrong end. What feels like God taking something away from you is God taking something off of you. There is a difference, and the difference is everything. When a surgeon removes what is killing a body, no one calls that theft. They call it rescue. You have been experiencing the beginning of a rescue and mistaking it for a punishment. The tears you have cried were not evidence that leaving is wrong. They were the sound of an old attachment finally releasing its grip. Grief and freedom often feel identical in the first few days. Do not let the ache convince you that you are making a mistake. Let me take you to an old story, because you are not the first chosen one to be led away from something familiar for the sake of something greater. Consider the account of the man named Abram, who was asked to leave the household of his father and the land of everything he had ever known. He was not asked to leave because that land was evil. He was asked to leave because his destiny could not be built where his comfort was. The word spoken to him was simple and terrifying. Go from what is familiar toward a place I will show you. Notice that the promise came after the leaving, not before it. He had to release the known before the greater was revealed. That is the exact threshold you are standing on tonight. God is not asking you to leave this man because you are being punished. He is asking you to leave because your promised land cannot be built on the ground where your comfort has been buried. And like Abram, you will not see the fullness of what is waiting until after you obey the leaving. The blessing is on the other side of the separation. It always has been. I want you to breathe for a moment here, because your body has been bracing this entire time. Wherever you are, let your shoulders drop an inch. Unclench your jaw. Feel your feet or your back or your hands, whatever is touching something solid right now. Notice that in this exact moment, you are safe. Not in the imagined future, not in the memory, right here. The breath you are taking is proof that you have survived every single day you were afraid you would not survive. Your body has carried you faithfully. Thank it and let it soften, because peace is not something you find after the decision. Peace is the ground you make the decision from. Now let me show you the woman on the other side of this warning, because you need to see her before you can walk toward her. Close your eyes for just a moment if you are somewhere you safely can. I want you to see a version of yourself 6 months from now who obeyed. She wakes up in a bed that feels like her own again. There is a quiet in her chest that she had forgotten was possible. A silence where the anxiety used to hum. She reaches for her phone in the morning, and she does not feel that reflexive dread of what he might have said or not said. She feels nothing there. The nothing is glorious. The nothing is the sound of a signal that is finally clear. Watch her move through her day. She is laughing louder again. The dream she had quietly buried has color in it again. When she prays, she does not have to strain to hear, because there is no static dragging across the line. She hears God the way you hear a friend across a quiet table. And when love does come to her, and it will come. It does not arrive as chaos disguised as passion. It arrives as peace that does not ask her to abandon herself. That woman is not a fantasy. She is not someone else. She is you, on the other side of one act of obedience, and she is closer than you think. Now I have to be honest with you about something, because I can feel the resistance rising even as you picture her. Part of you is already building the argument for why your situation is different. You are thinking, but he has good qualities. You are thinking, but sometimes it is wonderful. You are thinking, what if I am wrong and I throw away the one good thing I have? I want you to know that every woman who ever walked away from an interception thought those exact thoughts. The counterfeit is never 100% bad. If it were, you would have left long ago. Its power is in the good moments, because the good moments are what you use to justify enduring the bad ones. But a few good days do not make a man your assignment. A well can have clean water at the top and still be poisoned at the bottom. And you were never meant to drink your life from a poisoned well, because the first cup tasted sweet. Before we go any further, I want to mark this moment, because you have just crossed something. You came into this message confused, and right now you are clear, even if you are still afraid. In the comments, write the words, "I receive the clarity." Not the clarity of an easy answer, but the clarity of a woman who finally sees the mechanism, the grief, and the way out all at once. Write it, "I receive the clarity," and let it seal in your spirit. But here is what I have to tell you now. And I need you to lean all the way in, because everything I have shown you so far is true, and yet it is only half of what you need. Seeing the trap clearly is not the same as being free of it. You can understand every word I have said tonight and still, 3 weeks from now, find yourself answering his call at midnight, wondering why your own knowledge did not save you. Insight is not the same as release. And the reason your insight has not yet become freedom is not a flaw in your willpower. It is something deeper, something in the very place where that old wound still lives. There is a piece that has been missing this whole time, and without it, everything you have learned tonight will work at a fraction of its power. Stay with me, because that missing piece is exactly what I am going to put in your hands next. But I promised you I would not leave you with only a diagnosis, because a woman who understands the trap and still has no plan will find herself back inside it within a week. So let me give you the practical wisdom for the days ahead, the part almost no one talks about, the part about what actually happens in your body and mind after you decide to walk away. If you know what is coming, it cannot ambush you. If it ambushes you, it will drag you back. Here is the first thing you must know. In the first days after you separate from an interception, you will not feel relief. You will feel worse. This is the trap inside the trap, and it is where most women turn around. Because your mind will take the discomfort of withdrawal and whisper, "See, leaving was a mistake. You were happier with him." That is a lie, and now you will recognize it for what it is. What you are feeling is not proof that he was right for you. It is proof that the bond was chemical and deep. You are not grieving a soulmate. You are detoxing from a pattern. And detox always feels worst right before it breaks. The second thing you must know is that he will likely reach for you again at the exact moment you begin to feel strong. This is not always calculated on his part, but the timing is almost supernatural, and you must be ready for it. Just as you start to breathe, a message will come. "I miss you. I have changed. Maybe we gave up too easily." The counterfeit senses when the light is returning to you and reaches to pull it back down the cord one more time. Decide now, tonight, in your clarity, what you will do then, because you will not have clarity in that moment. You will only have whatever you decided in advance. Let your strong self write the rule that your weak hour will have to obey. So here is the rule I want you to write in your own spirit tonight. When the pull comes, I will not make the decision in the moment. I have already made it. Tonight, in the clear. That single sentence has saved more women than any dramatic confrontation ever could. You do not owe the interception a debate. You do not have to win an argument with him. You only have to keep a promise you made to yourself while your eyes were open. Let me tell you about a woman, and I will keep her anonymous, because her story belongs to her. She was a chosen one, much like you, entangled with a man everyone in her life had quietly worried about, though she could never explain to them why she stayed. She described the same fog you feel, the same tightness after every call. One night, she heard a message not unlike this one, and she made a decision in the clear. 3 days later, exactly as she had been warned, the message came, "I have changed." And because she had already decided, she did not have to agonize. She simply looked at the promise she had made herself and kept it. She said the hardest part was not the leaving. The hardest part was believing she deserved the peace that came after. But it came. And within the year, she barely recognized the frightened woman she had been. That can be your story too. Not because you are stronger than her, but because you were warned and you listened. Now hear the deeper truth underneath all of this, because it is the thing your spirit most needs to receive. You keep thinking the goal is to get away from him. It is not. Getting away from him is only the doorway. The real goal, the thing heaven is actually after, is to heal the place in you that made the counterfeit feel like home in the first place. Because if that place stays wounded, you will simply meet him again wearing a different face and a different name in 2 years. This is why the warning is a mercy and not just a rescue. God is not only removing a man, he is trying to reach the wound that keeps writing the same story. And when that wound is healed, you will not have to fight the counterfeit at all. It will simply stop feeling like home, and you will walk past it without even a second glance. I can feel some of you carrying a heavy question underneath all of this, so let me answer it before we move on. You are wondering if you wasted your time. You are looking back at the months or the years you gave to this, and grief is trying to become shame. Hear me clearly. You did not waste it. Nothing given to a chosen one is ever wasted, because heaven redeems even the detours. Everything you learned in that valley, the discernment you are holding right now, the strength you are about to walk in, was purchased in that season. You are not further behind because of it. You are more equipped because of it. The very pain you thought disqualified you is the thing that will let you recognize the truth instantly next time, and one day help another woman recognize it too. So if that word just lifted something off of you, mark it in the comments. Write, "Not wasted, redeemed." Because the enemy wants you to leave this season carrying shame, and heaven wants you to leave it carrying wisdom. Choose the wisdom. Write it, "Not wasted, redeemed," and let us walk the rest of the way home. So let me say the whole thing to you now in the plainest words I have, with no image and no poetry, because you deserve to understand this the way you would understand a doctor explaining your own body. Here is the why. You keep returning to what harms you, not because you are foolish, but because the wound that formed early in you runs on an old pattern in your mind, and that pattern feels like home even when it hurts. Here is the what. Insight alone cannot rewire that pattern, because the pattern does not live in the thinking part of you. It lives underneath it, in the part that reacts before you can choose. And here is the who. You are a woman whose spirit is ready, whose eyes are now open, but whose inner wiring still needs to be brought into alignment so that your actions can finally match your revelation. That gap between what you now know and what you still do is the most painful gap a person can live inside. It is the reason good women stay in wrong situations while fully understanding they should leave. And closing that gap is not about trying harder. Willpower is the thinking mind shouting at the reacting mind, and the reacting mind never listens to shouting. It only responds to a change in the signal itself. You have carried this quietly long enough, and you have done the hardest part already, which is to see the truth. So, in the comments, claim it now. Write the words, "I am aligning." Present tense, because it is beginning right now, in this moment of honesty. Write it, "I am aligning," and then let me give you the piece that has been missing. You now know what has been blocking you. The only question left is what you do with it. The mechanism is clear, the door is visible. What remains is how to open it. For months I have described your struggle as a signal being jammed by static, a station God assigned to you that you have had to strain to hear. That was not only a metaphor, there is a real reason it feels exactly like that. The place in you that reacts to the counterfeit and the place in you that receives clear guidance are governed by the two halves of your brain, and in most people, those two halves are out of sync. One side runs on old fear, the other side holds your intuition and your peace. When they are not synchronized, you get exactly what you have been living, knowing the right thing with one half and doing the wrong thing with the other. This is where I want to gently place something in your hands, only if your spirit resonates with it. There is a tool created by a neurologist in New York named Dr. Daniel Barone, and it is called the Genius Switch. It is not a course, and it is not a program that asks anything of you. It is an 8-minute audio sequence built on what is called neural sync technology, designed to bring the two hemispheres of your brain into alignment, the same whole brain synchronization that the Nobel Prize-winning research of Dr. Roger Sperry first uncovered when he studied the divided brain. In plain words, it is a way to help quiet the static, so the signal God has been sending you comes through clean. Let me tell you why this matters for the exact thing we have been discussing. When your two hemispheres come into sync, the reacting mind stops overriding the knowing mind. The pull toward the familiar wound loosens its grip, not because you forced it, but because the wiring underneath it finally settled. Women have described it as the first quiet they have felt in years. One of them, a nurse in San Diego, described finally being able to hear herself think. Another, in Manhattan, said it helped her break a pattern that had run in her family for generations. More than 18,000 ordinary people have now used it, sitting quietly for 8 minutes a day with their eyes closed, letting the sequence do underneath their awareness what years of trying harder could never do. Now here is what honesty requires me to say about the cost, because I never want you to feel pressured. The people who worked with Dr. Barone said something this effective should sell for around $500, and honestly, measured against years of confusion, it would be worth it. On the official page, it is listed at $49. But on the page linked for you in the description and the pinned comment, it is offered right now for $39. And it is protected by a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee, which means you can listen to the whole thing, use it for as long as you need, and if it does not bring you the quiet it brought so many others, you write one email and every dollar comes back to you. You risk nothing. The only thing you cannot get back is more time spent straining to hear God through interference. I have to be truthful about one more thing, in the same spirit that this whole message has been about discernment. This tool is only available through that one official page. You will not find the real thing scattered across other sites, and the counterfeits that imitate it do not carry the same technology, the same guarantee, or the 4 gifts that come with it. Just as the enemy sends a counterfeit man to occupy the space of a real love, the world will always offer you a cheap imitation of a real healing. Discernment is the theme of your entire season now. Apply it here too. If your spirit says yes, the honest link is waiting for you in the description and pinned at the top of the comments. If it does not, then take everything else I have given you tonight and walk in it freely. Whatever you decide about that, do not miss the larger thing that just happened. You finally understand why knowing was never enough, and why alignment, not effort, is the doorway. That understanding alone puts you ahead of where you were an hour ago. And we are not finished yet. Because now, I want to speak directly over the woman you are becoming and seal this warning into something that will hold long after this message ends. Before this message ends, I am going to speak something over your life, so do not leave yet. But first I want to lead you through something with your own mind, because a warning that is only heard fades by morning, while a warning that is lived becomes a new instinct. So wherever you are, if it is safe to do so, I want you to close your eyes and come with me for a few breaths. If you are driving or moving, simply let my words paint on the inside of you. I want you to picture the man heaven warned you about standing at a distance in front of you. Do not make him a monster. See him as he really is, a person with his own wounds, someone you are not required to hate in order to release. Now I want you to see, running between your chest and his, a cord. Some of you will feel where it connects the instant I name it. It is the cord of the old attachment, the tie that has kept you answering when he calls. Look at it honestly. Notice how tired it has made you. Notice how much of your light has been traveling down that cord and into a place it never came back from. Now I want you to see a light gathering at the center of your chest, warm and steady, the light of the one who formed you and has never once stopped loving you. And I want you to hear the words spoken over you, the same words spoken over Abram at his threshold. Go toward the place I will show you. As those words settle, watch that cord grow thin. You do not have to yank it or fight it. You simply have to stop feeding it. Watch it dissolve in the light, not with violence, but with peace, the way fog burns off when the sun finally clears the hills. And feel, in your actual body right now, the lightness that returns as your own energy comes back home to you. That returning warmth is yours. It was always yours. Breathe it back in. Stay in that lightness, because now I speak the thing I promised over your life. Chosen one, hear this as if the Father himself were leaning close to say it. You are not being punished. You are being protected. The warning you received tonight was not the sound of a door slamming on you. It was the sound of a hand closing a door in front of you so that your hands would be free to open the right one. What has been intercepting your life is losing its authority as these words are spoken. The static is clearing, the signal is returning, and the version of you that has been buried under confusion is lifting her head. I want you to feel the gratitude rising here. Not gratitude that it was easy, but gratitude that you were loved enough to be warned at all. There are women who were never warned, who found out too late. You were warned early. You were warned tonight. That is not an accident, and it is not a small mercy. It means heaven considered you worth interrupting 100 other things to reach. Let that land. You are watched over. You are guarded. You were worth a warning. Now, in this settled place, I want to lead you through a release, and I want you to say these words in your spirit or under your breath as I speak them, because your own voice agreeing with heaven carries a weight that my voice alone never could. I release the version of love that required me to shrink. I release it. I release the fog that I mistook for peace. I release it. I release the cord that carried my light into an empty place. I release it. I release the fear that told me no one else would come. I release it. I release the guilt of walking away from what God already closed. I release it. I release the man heaven warned me about, not with hatred, but with a clean and final peace. I release him. And I release the woman I was pretending to be in order to keep him. I release her with love forever. Breathe. Feel how much more room there is inside you now. That space is not emptiness. That space is the room your real life needs in order to arrive. You did not lose anything tonight that was ever truly yours. You only set down a weight you were never meant to carry this far. Now lift your head, because there is one more thing I need you to do, and it is the most important act of this entire message. You have released what was false. Now you must declare what is true. What is intercepted stays intercepted only as long as it goes unnamed. So name yourself now. Say these with me, not as a wish, but as a fact that heaven has already spoken over you. I am a chosen one, watched over and warned in love. I am no longer available to what shrinks me. I am a woman whose signal is clear and whose discernment is sharp. I am not fooled by the familiar anymore. I am protected, not punished. I am guided, not abandoned. I am the daughter heaven interrupted the world to reach, and I am walking from this night forward only toward what expands me. Feel the truth of that in your spine. That is not you performing confidence. That is your actual identity, uncovered from under the confusion that was sitting on top of it. This is who you were before the interception, and this is who you are again tonight. Chosen one, if you have walked this whole way with me, then this is the moment to plant a flag in the ground of your own soul. In the comments, write the words, I am walking forward. Let it be the first public step of a woman who has decided. Because something powerful happens when you declare a thing where it can be witnessed. It stops being a private feeling you can quietly abandon at midnight, and it becomes a vow with your name on it. Write it. I am walking forward, and let this community of chosen ones stand as witnesses to the woman you just became. And now I want to ask you to do something not for yourself, but for her. Somewhere out there, right now, is a woman who is exactly where you were an hour ago. She is sitting in the fog. She feels the tightness in her chest after every conversation with him, and she keeps calling it nothing. She has been praying in her own quiet way for a sign, for a witness, for someone to tell her that the unease she feels is not her being crazy. She is scrolling through her feed tonight, aching, and she does not have the words yet for what is happening to her. You have those words now, so become the interception for her that heaven became for you. If this message sets something free in you, share it with one woman. You may already see her face, the same way you saw his when this began. Send it to the friend you have watched shrink. Send it to the sister you have worried about. Send it to the daughter you cannot say this to directly. You do not have to add a lecture. Just send it, and let heaven do with it what it just did with you. One share could be the arm thrown across her chest at the exact moment she needed it. And if these words have been a companion to you tonight, gently press the like, not for me, but so that this message travels a little further into the feed of the next woman who is silently waiting for it. And if you want to keep walking with a community of chosen ones who are learning to hear clearly and love without shrinking, then stay close and join the thousands who are walking this road together. You were never meant to do this part alone. Let me leave you with the truth we began with, now that you can hold it without flinching. This message did not reach you by accident. You did not stumble onto it. It was rooted to you at this hour by a father who saw the road ahead and loved you too much to let you walk it unwarned. The man was real. The warning was real. And so is the future waiting on the other side of your obedience. You came here tonight afraid that a warning meant you were in trouble. You are leaving knowing that a warning meant you were treasured. You came confused about a man. You are leaving clear about your own worth. The static is lifting. The signal is yours again. And the one who interrupted the whole world to reach you is not going to abandon you now that you have finally turned to listen. Go gently, Walk forward. Do not look back at the closed door as though it were a loss, because it was a rescue wearing the face of an ending. What is ahead of you was worth every tear it cost to turn toward it. You are warned, you are protected, you are free, and it is sealed. Amen.